Good afternoon, Warren.
Good afternoon. Ah!
We're in HD, apparently.
I've been taking that. It's really good, isn't it?
Have you got
Peps you up.
HD replacement therapy?
I have, yes. That's why I'm in bad quality.
I've got a cassette.
Oh, it's a cassette. Is it U-matic?
I've got a cassette of
Shake Up.
Shakedown. It's all. Yeah, it is. It's reflectoring, and it's signed to Lisa. Shake it, Kevin Davies. Did you shake it?
Did you shake it?
No.
Did you?
To Lisa, love Sophie Aldred.
Is that Caroline Ford?
Splodge, Lisa, Jan Chappelle. Yes, that is Caroline Ford, and Mark Ayres. Although I think his pen ran X, it seemed to say Mark I, as though he's northern. But we're not here to talk about Shakedown. I'm here to talk about VHS, the days of VHS.
Well, you should say that because I have a beat. No, I don't.
Have you got a video? Well, that's what I was going to start with.
Oh, right. Have I got a video? Yes, we've got a video.
And I have, on my computer, a list of Doctor Who VHS releases. So I'd like to just run through the early days of VHS. Now,
put your pin in.
I'll put my pin in. Don't tell them what it is.
Oh.
You had a video.
What are we looking at? That isn't a list of VHS.
That's an advert.
That's an advert for
something.
Lift and Shape.
But the first Doctor Who VHS was Revenge of the Cybermen.
Oh yes.
In 1983 with the wrong cover.
Oh, I didn't have that. I had the one with the right cover.
Yeah, but when did you have your video machine?
My
first of all?
Betamax. We got the well, it wasn't me. It was my grand's Betamax because she was living with us in 1981. Right.
Blimey, you were an early adopter of video then.
We were, yes.
Good Lord.
And I wasn't allowed to video.
Touch it? You weren't allowed to touch it?
No, I was the only one that could blooming program it.
Yeah.
I wasn't allowed to video any Doctor Who because they know I would have just watched and watched and watched and watched and watched.
So hang on, what's the earliest Doctor Who story you could have recorded then?
82 would have been a regeneration, wouldn't it?
You would have got Castrovalva, would you? So you said 81 though, didn't you?
Sorry, 81.
So
81
could you have recorded the Five Faces season?
Oh, I could, yes. No, yes, I could have.
No, yes.
Oh, no, yes. Yes. Oh, could have a bit of that.
So you could
Side order of Troughton.
You could have had a bit of the Crotons in your collection, couldn't you?
No.
No, you wouldn't have.
No.
But didn't
No.
So did you have Revenge of the
So
Cybermen?
that's easy for you to say.
Did you have Revenge of the Cybermen?
Yes, I did have Revenge of the Cybermen. Can you do that?
And what did the Cybermen think of that?
They weren't too happy.
They weren't too happy.
I nearly wore that out. I watched it, yeah.
Winding it back.
Winding it back. I watched it.
Yeah.
Feverishly. I really did. That and Day of the Daleks you got. Was that the
Yeah, but
next
that's
one?
a lot later. You'd be surprised
Really?
how late Day of the Daleks is. Oh. So
because it was hideously expensive at £39.
Well, Revenge of the Cybermen comes out in 1983. Then it comes out again in 1984. Along with the Truncated Brain of Morbius.
Oh Lord, yes, that was.
Now, did you have that? Did you have
No, I didn't. But I saw a copy of it, or it didn't last very long.
I'm sure I saw a copy around your house at some point.
Did you?
Or did you borrow one off of somebody?
I may well. In that, I don't remember purchasing it, so I may well have got it. What year was it? 84.
Well, 84 it comes out, but when did we encounter each other? 85, wasn't it? When did you first learn of me? Was that 84 or 85?
I saw the pictures of Do Not Approach This Man.
Do not approach. Thank you.
About 84, I knew.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. But I didn't get my video until 1987.
I remember your top loader.
No.
You got another one.
I hired mine from Bailey's on a
Bailey's of Wimborne.
Bailey's of Verwood.
Oh, Verwood.
On a 3-monthly rolling contract. Wow. £45 for 3 months.
Wow.
And it was a stick it in one, not a
push it
down one.
Right.
I got the push it down one later, and we'll get to that.
No, I think I might have got mine after I saw yours, because
Yeah.
I got excited about yours. It looked more exciting than the shove it in, because the Betamax was a shove it in.
Yeah.
But I liked the sound that
You like
push
the
it down
clunk,
made.
the big
Yes.
springs and all that.
It sounded as if it was like valves and things in there.
But Pyramids of Mars, Seeds of Death and The Five Doctors in 1985.
Had those, but I didn't have Five Doctors.
But bear in mind that all these releases were omnibuses, weren't they? So you'd have to get on the omnibus.
They came along in threes, didn't they?
And you'd have to pay more to go on top.
Absolutely. Yeah. Especially with Pyramid of Mars.
Yes. But did you mind that? Were you
going on top?
No. Were you obsessive about episode endings, or didn't you care?
I didn't care. It was the fact that we actually
could see the could see the thing.
Yes, I hadn't seen them since. Well, I hadn't definitely seen Seeds of Death.
Obviously.
And I sat through Seeds of Death, connected to some kind of life support machine, because it just seemed interminably long. And much as I loved the bits of Troughton, the rest of it was all just flim-flam.
But do you remember the picture quality of Seeds of Death?
Oh Lord, it was terrible. And the sound quality as well was bacon and
bacon and eggs on the
soundtrack. Yeah.
1986, still pre my VHS. Robots of Death.
Yes.
Day of the Daleks comes out in July 1986.
Wow.
It is that late, and I ordered it for you.
You did
through the DWAS offers thing, the Doctor Who Appreciation Society.
It was $29.99 or something like that.
And I got a bit knocked off, didn't I? Because I was a member.
But that was he had a knockoff. But I remember that, and I was when it arrived and I watched it. I was.
Did you pay me in cash or in kind? I can't remember.
Kind of cash, really, I suppose.
Did you write me a cheque? I
think I wrote you a cheque, actually. Yeah. Did you ever cash it?
I have no idea.
I can't remember you cashing it.
I'm trying to think when I got my bank account.
I dropped the checkbook and it bounced. I caught it. But I tell you, Day of the Daleks, I was so excited to watch it, and it was such a disappointment.
Yeah, was it? Oh dear.
Because losing its cliffhangers, it just lost that certain oomph.
Yeah.
I mean, Robots of Death, I remembered the cliffhangers. The Baker ones were fresh in my mind, and they weren't that old, to be fair.
But 87, Pyramids of Mars, Seeds of Death. This is starting to sound familiar. And
oh no,
Death to the Daleks.
Which, let's be fair, did you understand that cliffhanger ending?
What, the pattern floor?
Yes.
Look out, there's a floor. Well, that is like one of the earliest stories I remember. So, obviously you said you remembered Revenge of the Cybermen on its original transmission. Yeah. Did watching these a lot after their original transmission, how much came back to you, did you find? How good was your memory of the stories?
I would say pretty much all of it.
Yeah. So it was a very good... It was in your head.
It's only it's less than 10 years, isn't it? So it's there, very clear. I have to say, I had a clearer recollection of Tom's first season than I did any of other of his seasons when they released them.
But I remember I picked up Pyramids of Mars and Seeds of Death at the Leisure Hive convention, because they had a dealer's table.
The one at Swindon.
At Swindon.
Yes.
And I thought, well, there's this range of stuff available, but I didn't get, like, Brain of Morbius, for example, because it wasn't the complete story.
Yeah, there was a big hoorah. I can remember.
It was a while before the full version of that came out.
Fans were not happy with that because it was butchered, wasn't it?
But I remember watching Pyramids of Mars especially, and here's a confession.
Okay.
We used to have our video downstairs on the big telly, and occasionally, like, somebody would come to visit, sort of my parents, and they'd chat in the porch or something. So I'd have Pyramids of Mars on, and I thought, well, they're going to come in at some point. So every time I got to a good bit, I'd rewind it, so that if they happened to come in, they'd come in for a good bit. Were you ever aware? If like people ever visited when you had Doctor Who on, did you?
People never visited.
Never visited. All right.
Sorry,
that was me.
You had to bring that up, didn't you?
Okay.
You did, yeah.
Hey ho. 1988.
Laundry?
Indeed. 1988, Spearhead from Space.
How many times have I purchased Spearhead from Space?
Quite a few. I think at least 5.
Yeah. I have to say I was very impressed with Spearhead because it was filmed, the quality was immensely good, and the soundtrack was quite good as well. And I liked that Pertwee first season, but I just enjoyed it for being so much fun.
But Robots of Death, Day of the Daleks, Talons of Weng Chiang, and Terror of the Zygons.
Yeah, I see. Talons to me was fresh anyway.
Yeah.
And Zygons, again, it's not really Tom's first season, but technically it should be. But I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that a lot. And even then, I was wincing when I knew which scene was coming up at the end.
Yeah.
Because I know there's always been that hubbub about it. But I remember it from first transmission. And even as a 5-year-old, I'm going...
Ow!
That's not what I went. I didn't go out, but yeah, it may well have hurt.
I knocked my Xbox controller onto my foot. Proving this is live action.
His foot's no longer live. I was disappointed.
Stop laughing, Lisa. I'm in pain here.
Right. I would say that when it came up to that last scene, I was always very disappointed with that.
Okay.
But I do like Terror. It was always good fun. And at Harry, I was always a great fan of Harry.
Were you? You liked a bit of Harry?
Are you surreptitiously pushing your top set back in?
No, just me nose. 1989, The Time Warrior, The Ark in Space, The Daleks brackets 2 tapes.
Oh, that I got so excited about.
Which one? The Daleks?
The Daleks 2 tapes. I hunted that down.
Where did you find it?
I found it in the end in Salisbury.
Okay.
And it was such a problem to find. It really was.
Yeah.
I was living in...
Sin?
No, he wouldn't allow me to.
Mossbros?
No, that's Salisbury. No, I own another pair of trousers since then. No, I must have been living in Verwood then.
All right.
And I could have gone to Bournemouth, but I hate Bournemouth. Don't go to Bournemouth.
It's not Dorset.
No, it's not Dorset. It's Hampshire. It's counterfeit Dorset. Meanwhile...
Calm down.
Yes. But that, I was just... another set of tapes that I watched and watched and watched, even though the quality was a bit ropey, to say the least.
I mean, some of these stories were, of course, doing the rounds at conventions on pirate tapes,
yes,
and things like that. So by this point, were you starting to collect pirate tapes?
I was, but before we go any further, I have to say the first time you ever took me into a video room...
Yeah, you didn't come out again. What was on?
It was episode... No, that was when we were leaving. It was Claws of Axos, wasn't it?
Oh, you had to leave because you were laughing.
I was laughing.
Why were you laughing?
It's the Axons, wasn't it?
Axons Attack.
Axons Attack, Captain Yates, honestly. And I had to leave because I was upsetting a lot of people by laughing out loud. But I remember we had to go for the coach, and I was most upset because I only saw episode 1 of the War Games, and it was the cliffhanger we had to go on. So Troughton shot, and I had to wait goodness knows how long. Not very long, by the looks of it. Yeah,
it's just on the list actually, but yeah.
Yeah, Unearthly Child.
So we're into 1990 now.
Yeah.
And Unearthly Child.
I didn't put too much emphasis on getting Unearthly Child.
Well, that's the thing. We'd sort of seen it in 1981, hadn't we? So it wasn't.
The next one, however,
but the War
was
Games on 2 tapes.
I'd heard a lot about the War Games, and a lot of it was proved to be untrue. People said, "Oh, it's boring, it's heavy, it's not that much fun," and the only bits you ever need to watch are the last 2 episodes. The last 2 episodes, to me, are a different story.
Yeah.
But I think, wow, I have to let you into a little something. And I've still got the press cutting from it.
All right.
Was Nick Goodman and myself wrote to the Avon Advertiser.
Yeah.
To say how good we thought the War Games was in Doctor Who.
What's this, to the letters page or something? Yeah.
Yes. And they printed our letter. They printed our letter. Yes, I've got it somewhere. Yeah.
Oh, you'll have to dig that out, nickel like that.
And I've got something else. I cut out the. They also did a piece on the War Games itself being released on video.
Oh, right.
And I've got that.
Gosh. Dalek Invasion of Earth.
Yes.
2 tapes.
Oh.
Now, given how many times you'd seen Dalek Invasion Earth 2150 AD...
Yeah. I fell in love with it all over again. It is probably one of my favourite Hartnells. Definitely my Hartnell Dalek stories. Absolute stonker. It really is. And I was really impressed what they did with so little. And the fact that they actually had some location filming as well. But I still love it. I still love Dalek Invasion.
Even though there's no Thackeray in it.
No Thackeray and
no Jane Austen.
Well, she's just dead meat, isn't she? Yeah.
The Mind Robber. Now, I'd seen The Mind Robber at Swindon. Just wandering about.
Just wandering around. Hanging at the bar. Nobody asked for a picture with him, did they?
So I already knew that I liked The Mind Robber.
Yeah.
And of course it did get repeated the year after, I think, in those repeats on BBC Two. Yeah.
I knew a lot that went with The Mind Robber, and there was a lot of publicity about it, wasn't there? The only clip I'd ever seen of The Mind Robber was the TARDIS exploding.
Okay.
So again, a lovely, lovely little release that one was. An expected, excited one that was.
The Five Doctors and the Brain of Morbius, yet again.
Yeah.
The Web Planet, 2 tapes.
Now, I don't know about you, I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
But I loved the cover. And I was in two minds because it was 2 tapes again, but I knew about Dalek Invasion Earth. I knew nothing except Vaseline. The Web Planet, and if you don't know about that, it's so they could slide into. No, it's so they put it on the. They put it allegedly put it on the.
Well, I think it's a filter. It's not. It's not like they smammed it all over the cameras.
Oh, you're just disappointed. Oh,
yeah.
God.
Otherwise, how would you get it off?
Slap it off.
How would you get it off?
Yeah, I know.
You need to give it a thorough rubbing.
Okay, you wouldn't have any chafing, would you?
No.
But no, I was really interested in Web Planet. I don't know about you because it was one of those weirdo ones that people didn't say much about.
I'm very fond of the Web Planet because I remember reading the book and I remember seeing those photos of the Zarbi in the Doctor Who Monster book. And the way those photos are framed, I thought the Zarbi were done as little rod puppets. Or something like that, because you couldn't see the big stumpy legs in the picture.
The size 12 boot on.
Thighs like tree trunks. Big strong thighs, Captain Mandarin. Brace those thighs, lassie.
Brace for impact.
So I thought they might have been puppets or something like that.
I can get that, yeah.
So, yeah. Right, anyway, the Dominators.
You see, that gets a bad press. I like it. I like,
don't mind it.
And again, it was a Troughton, and to get hold of a Troughton, even on video, was just it was red meat to the masses.
Yeah. 1991, Curse of Fenric.
No, never got it.
Never got it. Extended edition. The Crotons.
Well, begrudgingly, but I didn't get it on release. I think I waited a couple of years for that.
That's allowed.
The next one I almost certainly got because I remember it.
What's that? Planet of the Spiders?
Planet of the Spiders.
2 tapes.
2 tapes. 2D.
Oh, Mandy Padme Hum.
I'm sorry to hear that. Would you like an extra cushion?
But it's all right. I'm learning to live with it. Yeah.
Okay. We accept your lifestyle choices.
Why did you remember Planet of the Spiders?
Because I remember the last episode and I remember the first episode.
Okay. To be honest, they're the best bits.
Yes, they are. And I never was convinced by the spiders.
All right. Okay.
And I remember Gareth Hunt.
Yeah.
And I'll leave that there.
Do you want to do the action or not?
No, I'll just leave it there.
City of Death.
He does. Lisa, stop laughing. He does do things with his ear. I know. He's the only person I know that can produce coffee beans from it. Carry on.
City of Death.
Yes, that was always a must. That was
a goodie.
That was always one.
And then the Hartnell years and the Troughton years.
Do. Pixar screen. Right.
But what did you think of that as a concept? Because for years people had said you can't release individual episodes because no sod will buy them.
Yeah, and didn't we lap them up?
Yes.
I was... Hartnell was exceptionally good for me because it had the pilot episode.
Yeah.
And I'd heard so much about the pilot episode, and I was so excited about that. But I did like those releases. I think that was the only time it worked with those two releases.
Okay.
Anything further, I just don't think worked.
Yeah, because the Pertwee Years, you're just taking individual episodes from stories that exist.
Yeah.
I mean, Trowton Years is interesting in that you had Enemy of the World 3 on there, which was at that point all that existed.
And wasn't it panned just because that's all that existed?
And everybody thought, what a
dreary boring story. And look what happened.
Then the whole thing turns out.
And you went, well, what a dreary boring story. That a really good yarn that one is. Get it! Sorry.
I'll make you some Kaiser pudding later if you like. Whoosh it all up. The Masquee of Mandragora.
Yes, I did remember that vaguely, because I remember...
It's not a story people talk about very much, but I like a bit of medieval.
In hushed tones.
I like a bit of medieval science.
I remember the oranges. And I remember the Slavey song.
Miss Slade just eats oranges and then just goes with the peel. With the peel and the pith. She's taking the pith. Who eats oranges like that, honestly? Do you?
She probably had a good set of gnashers.
Gnashers! The Three Doctors.
No, I didn't.
No, at that point you'd not had it for 10 years though. Because the Three Doctors was on in...
It was too fresh in my head, though.
In 10 years was a long time. Was not a long time to you. That's interesting. So, okay.
I was never... This sounds terrible. I was never impressed with Three Doctors.
Okay.
So it didn't sort of burn me books to get that one. I had the book as well.
Right.
By which time I got the...
Which version of the book did you have?
The second version.
So that's the one where Pertwee looks too old on the cover, Troughton looks too evil, and Hartnell looks too Welsh, to quote a letter to Doctor Who magazine.
I thought he looked drunk. And they're pulling their heads back, aren't they? Omega's pulling their heads back.
Oh, that's the first edition of the book. That's the one with the claws.
Is it? Then I had the one with the claws on. Apologies.
The first edition is Omega with his mask and putting his...
Oh, the other one was the dark background with the three...
Yes, yeah.
No, I had the first one then.
You had the first one. It took me ages to get the first one.
Ooh,
I had to send off to
I could have lent you mine.
I could just send off to a special place for it.
Oh, yeah. I'll get my magazine from there.
Sontaran Experiment Stroke, Genesis of the Daleks. 2 stories in one release.
Yes.
Dealing with the difficult two-parter problem.
I had a pirate copy of Genesis of the Daleks.
Right.
So...
Peter Miles with an eye patch.
Oh, really?
And an inflatable bird. Parrot!
I doubt it.
I doubt it very much.
So I didn't get that because Oh, you Peter Sellers.
Oh, really? Yes. Okay, right, okay.
So I was in never any hurry to get that.
The Deadly Assassin.
Sorry.
The Deadly Assassin.
He probably is. Preparation, ouch. Yes, I didn't rush to get that one either.
All right. Because by this point...
That gave me nightmares, that's why.
How many of these had you heard on audio before you were getting the videos? Don't forget we had under-the-counter audios
Very
as well.
few.
All right.
As far as the sort of Tom stories, I think I had one Tom on audio, but the only audios that I would strain my hearing, that's why I have bad hearing now, for were either Hartnell or Troughton stories.
We did have a wodge of Troughton stories, because we had Web of Fear,
we have
and
Web
Evil
of
of
Fear,
the Daleks, and the Highlanders.
It was Maximum Convention.
Yeah.
And Highlanders, yeah. Although there was one episode of the Faceless ones. I did have Faceless ones on video as well. And Wheel in Space, because I lent it to the local group to play when I wasn't there and had machinette it.
At what point did you have Ambassadors of Death? Because you must have had it by then.
I think
early 90s.
I had it twice when I was a child, and then had the inoculations. Are we on to Ambassadors?
No, we're not onto it. I'm talking about Pirates.
You threw me then. And when did I have Ambassadors?
Ambassadors is way down the list. Yeah.
Must have been
early 90s?
Early 90s. I was going to say mid, but I think it was earlier than mid.
I think so. Because you were still around locally.
I was I was getting around locally. I was excited about that. I get excited about Ambassadors of Death.
Oh, quite right too. 1992. The Caves of Androzani.
No.
No.
Far too modern.
Robot.
No. I'd like to say yes.
But you're not.
I had a very clear memory of Robot, so I would have got that later on.
Okay.
The thing that I knew was in it was the tank. And I had a tank.
Yeah. Was it a disappointing tank?
It was. It was just listless.
You've seen better tanks in your life.
I have, yes. Okay. Well, that's interesting.
Oh, so it's popped up. Never mind.
Not in this weather.
Logopolis, not Logopolis. Logopolis and Castrovalva.
I remember them, being released
together,
and I didn't get either of them.
March 1992.
I didn't get them at that time, but I did at later dates.
Oh, and the Pertwee years as well.
Yeah, I got the Pertwee years and regretted it.
Yeah.
Because...
What was it? Was it an episode in Inferno, episode of
Demons?
The Demons, and an episode of Frontier in Space?
Was it Frontier in Space?
Yes, it was. Episode 6. Yeah.
Oh, God. Yes, it had the creature, didn't it?
Yes.
And the eyeballs on sticks. Don't do that again.
Claws of
coming out?
The Claws of Axos.
Yes, I did, for one reason only.
Why?
And we gave that earlier.
Okay.
And I still laughed.
Twin Dilemma.
No.
An exclusive to Woolworths for a while it was.
Talking exclusive, I'm looking forward to the next one. But Twin Dilemma I never ever got. Yeah. I haven't actually got it on DVD either.
Oh, right. Okay.
Now, there's a story behind the next one.
The Tomb of the Cybermen. May 1992.
It was due to be released on a Monday.
According to that, the 11th.
Was it?
11th of May.
Ah, that would have been a Monday, supposedly.
Yeah.
I was living in London. I went to visit my great aunt, and we went to Selfridges.
Okay.
And we were in their audio visual department.
Yars.
And I went, nearly kicking her out the way. Look, get out of the way! And there was a pile of them. And I went, they're not supposed to be out, and grabbed one. And I think I came and visited you the next day.
You came round bearing gifts. Well, not really gifts, because you just played it and went away again.
Unbeknown to me, you were
I had a copy that Fiona was going to bring round. Yeah. And indeed, I think Fiona came round after we'd watched it.
Yes.
And...
you said I better not let on that I've seen
No, we said to her, it's good, isn't it? And she says, I don't know yet, I haven't watched it.
I watched it before I came down to you, and I've loved that story. So there's always a bit of fun when you can find something that's been put on the shelf too early.
Yeah.
It's always good fun.
Daleks and Cybermen, the early years.
No.
No?
No.
Why not? Because that dealt with some interesting episodes, because you had Master Plan, you had Evil of the Daleks, you had Moonbase and Wheel in Space.
I already had.
You had all of those, didn't you?
They appeared.
How did you get all of them?
They appeared one day, miraculously, in this Transmat device.
Okay. Say no more, July, Shada! Or Shader, as I always used to think it was pronounced.
I've never ever seen Shader.
You've never seen Shader?
I've seen the clips, a few of the clips, but
it's another story where there's about 8 different versions available.
And one sits on my shelf, and I haven't watched it yet.
Okay. The Tom Baker years, 2 tapes.
I should buy that on cassette. Yes, I remembered that, and I was thinking,
we drank rum and shrub. And got the locals poleaxe.
I couldn't work out why they would eat some kind of sort of foliage with a rum.
I don't know.
I remember that I watched it so many times, and I was sharing a house with somebody, and they went, "That sounds like Tom Baker," they shout through the kitchen. I said, "Get yourself in here, bring a beer and watch Tom Baker." And we sat and we watched Tom Baker, and he went to me afterwards, "You got any Doctor Who episodes?" And I went, "Yeah," because he was a big Star Trek fan.
Oh, right, yeah.
And he had all the cassettes for Star Trek. And I went, "Yeah, can I borrow some of your Doctor Who's? Can I borrow some of your Star Treks, please?"
Ah, a mutual arrangement.
It was.
Very mutual. Earthshock?
No.
The Aztecs?
Yes.
Yes.
For 2 reasons.
All right. What's the 2 reasons?
The second reason is I like it.
Yeah.
The first reason is I've seen it on the big screen.
In black and white. Because I dragged you off to
Some
street in Somerset.
You took me up some street in Somerset. Yes.
Where they had I don't know why they were doing it, but
I think they'd wangled
a copy somehow at some cinema, wasn't it?
Yeah, and we sat in the cinema and sat and watched it, and it was amazing.
Because it even had distributed by BBC Enterprises at the end, the Globe.
And to watch that on the big screen, it did it justice.
Okay.
What are you leaning for?
I'm leaning forward to see how far we're going. Oh, 30 minutes. There you go.
Don't drive.
Just checking. Mordrin Undead.
Yes, I got excited about that.
Okay, what, because of the brig?
No.
No. Why did you get excited about Mordrin
He's
Undead?
got Turlo, and he's really, really good as a character, isn't he?
Okay.
Of course it was for the brig!
I thought you might have been, I don't know.
But you've done it again, you popped something up.
Keen on David Collins or something, I don't know.
Spaghetti on his head.
Why do you wear spaghetti on your head? I'm very fond of pasta.
Oh!
Oh my word, 1993 is full of it. Look at the length of 1993.
I tell you what, I didn't watch most of those.
No. Terminus and Enlightenment.
Enlightenment, yes, I really enjoy Enlightenment.
Okay. I shall attempt to give you some at some stage.
Yeah, don't touch me. I didn't watch Fendal or...
Image of the Fendal.
No, I didn't watch it on
That's
cassette.
an interesting pairing, Image of the Fendal and the Demons, because
Yeah.
it's quite similar sort of story there going on. Bit Quatermassy, bit of all that, you know, bit your skulls, your archaeology.
You got the shakes.
No, I'm being cockney. Can't you tell?
Knee.
Cocking of the knee.
Me. Me.
But then,
Yes, cock.
okay, in colour, the Demons and Terror of the Autons. The colourisations.
Yes, I got excited about those two.
Yeah, with the little paintbrush logo in
Yes.
the corner, because somebody had got their paints out and painted
Crayons.
every frame.
Every frame.
But do you remember, like, it was on like Tomorrow's World and all of that.
Damon's was on Tomorrow's World.
Yes,
Yep.
it was quite a big thing, wasn't it? Obviously, technology has moved on since then, but
The quality's still rubbish now.
we should say that colour copies of these were perhaps distributing in certain circles, because I had at least
yeah.
5 minutes of Terror of the Auton. No, I had 5 minutes of the Silurians in colour on the end of a tape.
I think I do remember that.
Yeah.
Wasn't that an ABC tape? Because a lot of stuff was...
Those are American conversions.
Right.
So those are. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we did have ABC Australian tapes for things like The Green Death. Because you'd
Mrs.
occasionally...
Gandhi died every time I watched that.
Yeah, you've got a news flash come up on it, and of course the infamous Nasty Green Man on Inferno.
Available in the ABC shop.
in your capital city. Right, anyway. Silver Nemesis.
No.
Extended.
No.
Complete with a documentary
Actually,
on it.
no, but I didn't get it when it came out, but I did a couple of months later.
I've got a shiny copy upstairs.
Because it's got... Have you?
It's got a shiny,
White
white, clean cover on it. Yeah,
Is that because of the documentary?
Yes. Let's make magic, says Gary Downey. Right, Vengeance on Varos.
Definitely not, no.
The Keeper of Traken.
No.
The Invasion.
Without a shadow of a doubt, I would
With Nick Courtney telling you not much actually.
I would have kicked the shop windows in to get a copy of that. Yes, and the same with the next story as well.
Doctor Who and the Silurians.
And the Silurians. I
in Color
had never seen a clip from that, and so I was really, really interested to see what it was like, and it was wonderful.
Okay,
really was wonderful.
Curse of Peladon, familiar from its 1982 repeat, I think. So nothing.
I don't remember buying that. I'm going out of my way to buy that one.
And then the well-known
Dalek Tin.
The well-known story Dalek Tin, who is a relative of Dalek Sek and Dalek
Rusty.
Dalek Zeg and all of that, but Dalek Tin.
Sig and Zag.
Which was Remembrance of the Daleks and The Chase.
Yes, it was that silver tin, wasn't it?
It's over there. I keep my car documents in it. I keep my insurance documents and MOT certificates in it.
You know where you keep his insurance documents now. Cash in straight away.
Yeah, just head for Dalek Tin. What did you think of The Chase when you first saw it?
I loved The Chase. It was just balmy, and Milton Subotsky, Morton Dill did it for me. What's
the joke we do now about Vicky? Do the voice. Don't go. And then after Dalek Tin comes TARDIS Tin.
You see, I didn't get that for years afterwards.
Trial of a Time Lord.
It was in a bargain bucket. It was in a bargain bucket in Cheshire, but I bought it because it was something like £10. They clearly couldn't shift it.
I think they made more tins.
Oh, right.
They made a lot of tins. Something like 30,000 tins and didn't sell them all. So, yeah, you could pick it up cheap later. Resurrection of the Daleks, 2 Doctors. Not much to say there. Planet of Evil. I'm surprised Planet of Evil is that late in the release schedule.
Another one I would have lapped up and hammered in the door for. Definitely not. And
you remember being scared by it?
Yes, I do very much so.
Dragonfire. Into 1994. Ark in Space. Day of the Daleks. Pyramids of Mars again. How many times?
They've got a load left in the catalogue, haven't they?
Ark of Infinity.
Yes.
Paired with the Colin Baker years.
I didn't get the Colin Baker years, but I definitely got Ark of Infinity. And I definitely got, that one.
And then Inferno. 2 tapes.
2D.
2 tapes. We like a bit of Inferno, don't you?
We love a bit of Inferno.
And Mr. Courtney and his patch.
How is it? Is he giving up smoking? I'm going to just readjust it.
Adjust it, it'll sit up.
Oh, my cheeks has gone to sleep.
Don't go out of shot. Ghostlight.
No, I didn't.
Didn't get it?
No.
Visitation / Black Orchid.
Yes, only for Black Orchid, strangely enough, but I then fell in love with his Visitation. Even though I watched it the first time round, I really wasn't paying much attention when I was on. I think I might have been distracted by something fluffy or some lint in the air or something.
Destiny of the Daleks, that's quite late to release that as well.
Yeah, I've never bought that on video because I remember it.
Right.
Too
recent. Destiny of the Daleks is too recent to buy. Deary me, you are an old man.
Problem is, it's been repeated so many times.
Destiny hasn't.
Destiny
was only repeated once, the year after, in 1980.
Well, then I have a very good memory.
Yeah. But that's the thing, you saw it twice within a year, basically.
Yeah, so, and it was burned.
Burned in.
Unfortunately.
Burn him!
Oh no, he is JC.
But the Seeds of Doom. Just a moment's silence for the Seeds of Doom, please.
Yes.
Oh. I like a bit of seeds. But yes, loads of reasons to love the Seeds of Doom. The Rescue / the Romans.
Yeah. I was really interested when that came out because I knew very little. I'd seen a pirate copy of The Rescue, and the last 5 minutes were chopped off the end. And I was still disappointed with the ending at the end of the run. But the Romans I loved because I was not expecting the Romans, and it's fantastic.
Kinder!
No, because Kinder scared the bejeebies out of me.
Okay, that's interesting. I always think I should like Kinder more than I do.
Kinder's the dream sequence one, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, I didn't like that. It really unnerved me.
Yeah. it's an interesting mix of things, and I think it should actually be even weirder than it is.
Yeah, I think it would. I think you've got so much scope there to be weird. I just didn't think they pushed the envelope as far as they thought was safe to at that time of day.
But of the two, because Snake Dance is out at the end of the year, I do actually like Kinder more than Snake Dance. Some people it's the other way round.
Okay.
So. And also of note, More Than 30 Years in the TARDIS.
That was an absolute masterpiece.
One of the best documentaries.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt.
And the video release,
which I had,
is even better than the transmitted version, because you've got extras. Yeah, so thank you to Kevin. If I put his video, I've lost his video now, but yeah, thank you to Kevin for that. Anyway, 1995. Good lord,
you're making me feel old.
Spearhead of Space, Death to the Daleks, Robots of Death, The Android Invasion, and Carnival of Monsters.
Now, Carnival of Monsters I didn't rush to get because I'd seen it recently. Android Invasion, yes, I did rush to get because I remember the fingers.
You really want to see those fingers?
Is that the finger loaded?
That's it.
That's it.
You remember fingers.
I remember fingers, and I remember them nearly falling off the back of that truck trying to get down off the box with the villagers. Yeah.
Your local pub used to be the Fleur de Lis when you were small.
When I was small and could crawl in the door.
I haven't been in the Fleur de Lis for a very long time.
Have you?
No.
Neither have I.
No. Reboss Operation. Pirate Planet, Stones of Blood, Android of Terror, Power of Kroll, The Armageddon Factor, the whole Key to Time sequence released.
Yes,
I had in a row.
I had that.
Favourite story out of that run?
No, favourite one was always going to be Pirate Planet.
Oh, that's interesting.
Why?
Anyway, I can say no more on that subject.
Oh.
The Mark of the Rani.
No, I didn't get
the Mark of the Rani.
His performance was so wooden. I'm so surprised that he had enough in him to turn into a tree.
Are you taking the sap?
Yes.
Right. Mark of the Rani and Time and the Rani.
No, none of them.
No Ranis. No Ranis for no Ranis for me, Mum.
I've taken the tablets. I haven't had the Ranis for ages. Ooh.
Frontier in Space.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
And on my birthday, apparently. And K9 and Company. Dee 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 dee.
K9.
Thank you. The Sea Devils and Warriors of the Deep. Oh, there's some pairing going on.
Pairing there. I also remember nearly wearing out the tape of Sea Devils and not even touching Warriors of the Deep. I had a mint condition Warriors of the Deep. I've lost most of my cassettes, but I can remember I did watch that cassette. You
and I are convinced there's something about sausages in the Sea Devils.
We are, yes,
because when
absolutely.
They're pulling up the diving capsule, you can hear somebody shout, "Haul aboard, sausages!" I don't know why, but Paradise Towers and Survival.
No, far too recent.
Far too recent.
And so's that one.
The King's Demons.
Far too recent. Recent.
There's a good song in that, and I've done an excellent remix on Round the Archives.
And we're not going to listen to it now.
No. The Monster of Peladon, starring Terry Walsh and occasionally John Pertwee as Doctor Who.
No, I didn't watch that one.
Okay. In 1996, the video range was suspended in February.
Space?
Suspended. Suspended onto the string due to the imminent release of the TV movie. So 1996 sees only 3 releases: The Hand of Fear, the TV movie, and The Green Death.
And all 3 I got.
That was a cheap year.
That was a cheap year. Had all those. Yeah.
I
got excited about The Hand of Fear, more excited than I did about The Green Death or the movie.
Okay.
Mainly because I remember the sandwich box, and I always thought somebody must have been really upset when they opened their sandwich tub and the hand had eaten their sandwiches.
Nom 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 nom.
How's it go?
Nom 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 nom. 1997. The Leisure Hive,
No.
The Awakening stroke Frontier.
Yes, I only got Awakening for one reason and one reason only.
Because it's local.
It's local. I saw some of it being filmed.
And your mum's car's on one of the photographs.
Yes.
You were driving past, weren't you?
Yes, we were, but they had the horses galloping by.
Yeah. And there's some production photos, and your mum's car is on
Yes.
the photo. So. I'm always annoyed about The Awakening.
What, annoyed at my mum's car?
No, because it was so local.
Yeah.
And nobody ever thought to tell me they're filming Doctor Who here.
And do you know what? The only reason I found out is because my mum picked me up at school. She doesn't pick me up at school because I lived at the bottom of the hill. And she said, get in the car. I said, oh, what's happened? And you think, oh, something bad's happened. She said, we're going to go and see Doctor Who. And I went, I'm sorry, they're filming Doctor Who. Right! Put your foot down! And they'd finished filming at Martin. Yeah. And they'd all gone to the pub on the Salisbury Road. There was a bit of dual carriageway as you go.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah.
There used to be a pub there, and
that's the bit that's not Dorset or Wiltshire. The bit that's Hampshire.
The one with Hampshire on the junction there. There used to be a pub there, and that's where all the production team was staying.
Gosh, but yeah, I could have hung about in Shabbick and looked local.
And the horses were filmed on Sixpenny Cross.
Oh. Anyway, The War Machines.
Yes, definitely.
The War Machines. The War Machine. Hartnell in Swinging London.
He was Hartnell the Swinger. Oh, that's not bad thinking about.
Does not compute. Can you say anything else about the War Machines?
I loved it. I loved the War Machines.
But rebuilt with missing scenes and things. Yeah. And I shouldn't think anything would stand up to it. It would just go boom straight through.
Christopher Trace
and Valerie Singleton being impressed
by his large machine.
The Happiness Patrol.
No.
The E-Space Trilogy. Full Circle, State of Decay, Warriors of the far too recent. No. Time Lash in 1998.
No, far too recent.
Battlefield, The Mind of Evil. With didn't that have a little bit in colour at the end?
I love The Mind of Evil.
You love The Mind of Evil.
Of all of the Pertwee releases on cassette, that is my most favourite. Because I could put that on and watch that
on a loop.
On a loop. I loved it. There's so much going on, and it's so grown up.
Is it the nice balance between season 7 and season 8?
Yeah.
It's got the good things about both of those seasons.
Absolutely.
Yeah, interesting. Horror of Fang Rock.
If only for the fact that I, again, nearly wore the tape out watching the bit where Louise slaps that woman round the face. It's just painful to watch, and it's really good too.
No acting involved.
No.
Planet of Fire.
No, afraid not.
The Ark.
Yes, because I was amazed, and I think I might have watched The Ark with you, or come and visit. No, did I know you?
Did we have a dodgy copy of The Ark? I think we did, didn't we?
Somebody
did.
I think
it wasn't the first time I'd seen The Ark.
No, I had a dodgy copy of The Ark, and I think we sat and watched it, and we said, oh, they're not going to put it on a big screen, are they? Wow, they got a big screen. Yes, we did watch that, and we took the pee out the monoids.
Ice Warriors box set, The Ice Warriors, The Missing Years tape, and the Underwater Menace episode 3.
Nothing is survived can stop me now.
At that point, the only surviving episode from the Underwater Menace. Interesting sort of idea, the Missing Years documentary, because there were lots of odds and ends that you couldn't do anything else with.
Yeah, when you've got sort of archive odds and sods.
Yeah, a couple of minutes of Galaxy 4 here and there. And
getting a little excitable. Say, this is what we...
And tiny clips of Brian Cant in the jungle.
Yes.
Saying, get me out of here.
Yes.
So yeah, that was an interesting way of stitching all of those bits and pieces together.
It made some money for the BBC.
It made some money. 1999, the Lion
still going?
Yeah, we're still going. The Lion is discovered. So Nightmare of Eden, The Keys of Marinus. There's blood on it.
Oh God! Oh, that was another one that I first saw I thought was hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got blood on it.
Revenge of the Cybermen, Again?
Again?
How many times is that? The Face of Evil.
No, I don't remember the getting that on cassette.
All right. Okay.
No.
The Crusade episodes 1 and 3. And the Space Museum.
And the Space Museum, because the first time I saw Space Museum when I got in, I sat down and watched. I thought, this is really good. Episode 1's cracking, and then I fell asleep in episode 2. I didn't miss anything.
You missed Hartnell in his bathing costume.
Oh, I've seen that on
You've
DVD
seen that?
now. I've got it laminated on the wall.
And his penny farthing.
Is that what
You've got a Hartnell pin-up, have you?
I have.
Right, Terror of the Zygons, Curse of Fatal Death. I don't know whether you count that.
Yes, I did have that, yes. I got that as a bargain bucket.
All right. But that was for charity, mate.
Yeah, it was...
Did charity get anything if you brought it from a bargain bucket?
I don't care.
Don't care. Dalek Tin 2. The Revenge. Well, not The Revenge. The Planet of the Daleks.
Yes,
and Revelation of the Daleks.
Yeah, I don't think I watched Revelation, but I definitely watched Planet. I was mightily impressed with Planet, thinking they got some good production values here.
Okay. Oh, okay. 2000, Greatest Show in the Galaxy.
Definitely not.
Invasion of Time.
Oh yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. And I went, and after about 2 episodes, I'm going, why am I watching this?
But you've got that magnificent Sontaran. He has fastened it with some kind of locking device from the other side.
I remember it. This is the problem.
Sir! That's how to act Sontaran.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Shakespearean Sontaran.
Yeah.
I know. I remember it originally. So I always found it quite interesting.
The Edge of Destruction stroke the pilot episode.
Yes, which is weird because you'd own both the pilot episode again.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, wait a minute. Time Flight, then An Unearthly Child remastered.
That was the white copy cover, wasn't it?
I've lost track now.
It was grey cover, yeah. No, I didn't get the remastered. I preferred it with a bit.
You prefer it with a bit of crackly
vigour.
Cyberman Tin, 10th Planet, and Attack of the Cybermen.
Yes, I do remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
With the Recon.
The recon with the telesnapes.
Telesnapes and things, yes. Have you got a good telesnapes? Right, 2001. Daleks Remastered.
No.
Delta and the Bannermen.
Was it?
Apparently. City of Death. The Sunmakers. That's quite a late one.
Yeah, that's another late one. I would have gone with the Sunmakers, yeah.
Fort of Doomsday. Davros Collection. Loads of Dalek stories, obviously. Master Tin. Colony in Space and the Time Monster.
I don't remember getting those.
All right.
However, I did own a copy of the Time Monster. That may be why I didn't want to buy it.
Okay. I know I had episode 6 of the Time Monster for some reason on the end of a tape.
Yes. No, I remember you letting me.
Because I had the Seeds of Doom, and there was always room for one episode on a 3-hour tape.
I think Fiona did me a copy of Time Monster, and I must say I slept exceptionally well.
Fair enough. Planet of Giants.
Yes.
Planet of Giants in 2002. Yes?
On cassette?
Planet of Giants. January 2002. Yeah, everything's been released on cassette.
Yes, it's just that it's so late.
Yeah, honest. Underworld. Ambassadors of Death. 2002.
Good Lord.
Yeah. With some partial colorization work at least. Not everything.
No.
It was a weird mix. It was colour and then it would suddenly go black and white again.
Ronald Allen.
Yes.
Get your associate out of here.
Creature from the Pit.
We call it the Pit.
Invisible Enemy.
No.
Time Lord Collection War Games. Three Doctors Deadly Session and First Boctor. The
First Boctor. Was he really?
He was. The First Doctor.
You said those new teeth that you've got work. Do they really work?
They're Hungarian.
I can't wait to see the subtitles on this.
They're Hungarian teeth. The First Doctor.
For first sake.
The Sensorites. Listen.
What?
The
Don't
Sensorites.
spray me.
The Sensorites.
Oh God.
The Time Meddler. And the Gunfighters.
That I would have got without a shadow.
You'd have snapped
of a
that
doubt.
up, wouldn't you?
Yes. Is there more?
There's a few more. 2003, The Mutants.
I didn't get the mutants, no.
You'll all be done for then. Meglos.
Stubbsy.
The Horns of Nimon.
No.
Invasion of the Dinosaurs. One of your earliest memories, I believe.
One of my earliest memories, and I have got it because Liz Sladen, I've still got it because Liz Sladen signed the cover. It's the only...
Who did she sign it as?
John Pertwee.
She would have done.
Pterodactyl. She signed it as Pterodactyl. I've got 3 cassettes, and that's one of the ones, and I can't remember the other 2.
Okay. And rounding off the VHS range.
I feel as though I have just aged.
The Reign of Terror.
Yes.
Surviving episodes.
Yep.
The Faceless Ones, 1 and 3.
Again, another one that I wore out.
And The Web of Fear, episode 1.
Hello. Hello. Yes, I got that.
And
it had the mange at the end of it.
At the what? At the
mange? The screen comes up with the title, the mange on it.
You mean the...
It's not the 3 Doctors.
Douglas Camfield's trifle they're shooting it through.
Seriously, your teeth need altering.
But
I'd get your money back if I were you.
The Web of Fear
Dear.
rounds off the VHS range. And just think, that's as much as the Web of Fear as we could watch at that point.
Well, yeah, watch. We could hear it.
Well, we could hear it. We could hear what was going on. We could imagine what was going on.
We had a copy, didn't we? We had an audio copy.
Well, you couldn't hear episode 2. It was...
Again, it's not the 3 Doctors.
That's by random noise. But there you are. There's a trawl through the VHS releases.
A trawl, yeah.
A trawl.
It is like trawling, isn't it?
So thank you for joining me today.
Well, thank you for allowing me on the sofa. It's been a while since I've been on the sofa.
It is indeed.
It is. Nice to see the crevices still here.
Oh yeah, I am. So we'll say thank you very much and say bye.
Bye bye.
Freeze frame.